Today, we're diving into a case so disturbing, so deeply unsettling, that it has left an entire community searching for answers. Try to imagine this. You're 10 years old. You wake up in the morning, stretching, rubbing the sleep from your eyes, expecting it to be just another ordinary day, but when you step out of your room, the house is eerily silent. The comforting noises of breakfast being made, the hum of the television, the chatter of your family, gone. You take a few hesitant steps forward, your heart beginning to pound as an unsettling feeling creeps over you. Then you see it. The lifeless bodies of your father, mother, and 3 older brothers sprawled across the floor, their blood staining the walls and carpet. The nightmare was real. This was the terrifying reality for the sole survivor of the Candy family massacre, a crime that left investigators baffled and a young boy with questions that may never be answered. At first glance, the Candy family seemed to be the definition of the American dream. Jonathan and Lindsay Candy lived in a quiet neighborhood in Yukon, Oklahoma, a suburban town where crime was rare and families built their lives in peace. The Candys had 4 children, Dylan, Ethan, Lucas, and the youngest son, whose name has been withheld for privacy reasons. Friends and neighbors would have described them as a happy, normal family. They attended community events, spent weekends at soccer games, and shared photos of their seemingly joyful life on social media. Jonathan Candy was a 42-year-old man who worked part-time at the Paycom Center, one of the largest arenas in the area, hosting NBA games, concerts, and other major events. He was known for being a friendly and humorous man who always had a joke ready to brighten someone's day. His wife, Lindsay, was 39 and had grown up in Prague, Oklahoma. She had been a singer in her church choir as a child, known for her laughter and warmth. She and Jonathan had been high school sweethearts, building a life together that seemed solid from the outside. Their 3 older sons, Dylan, 18, Ethan, 14, and Lucas, 12, were active in sports and school activities. Dylan had a passion for drumming and had recently graduated from Mustang High School, where he played in the marching band. He had even been accepted into Oklahoma Baptist University, where he was a part of the Bison Brigade, the school's marching band. Ethan was a dedicated baseball player, and his coach described him as an energetic and committed team member. He had a natural talent for the game, always giving his best. Lucas, the youngest of the 3 older brothers, was just starting to explore his interests, but was known as a bright and playful kid who loved being outside. Their home at the end of the cul-de-sac seemed like the perfect place to raise a family. But on April 22, 2024, the illusion of a perfect life shattered into a million bloody pieces. The morning that changed everything. At approximately 9:30 a.m., a chilling 911 call came through to local dispatchers. A 10-year-old boy, his voice trembling, reported that his entire family was dead. Within minutes, police officers and emergency responders arrived at the Candy family's home on Southwest 29th Street and Check Hall Road. As they stepped inside, they were met with a gruesome scene that would haunt them for years to come. Jonathan Candy, the man who was supposed to protect his family, had turned into their executioner. His wife, Lindsay, lay dead, her body riddled with bullets. Nearby, their 3 sons, Dylan, Ethan, and Lucas, had met the same fate. The only person left alive was the youngest child, who had unknowingly slept through the entire massacre. Jonathan himself was found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, a murder-suicide. But one question loomed over investigators, neighbors, and even Jonathan's own relatives. Why? Mass killings within families, often referred to as family annihilations, are tragically not unheard of. But what made this case particularly baffling was the lack of warning signs. Jonathan had no known history of domestic violence. There had been no previous police reports, no restraining orders, no visible indications that something was brewing beneath the surface. His friends and neighbors described him as a devoted father. He was always there for his kids, one neighbor said. He was the kind of guy who would mow your lawn just to help out. His co-workers at the Paycom Center recalled him as a friendly, easygoing man who loved basketball and joking around with colleagues. On the night before the massacre, Jonathan had been at an NBA game, working as usual. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. With no clear motive, investigators were left to piece together a puzzle without an obvious solution. One theory suggests that there was an argument between Jonathan and Lindsay on the night of the murders. Could this argument have triggered a violent outburst? Another possibility is financial stress. Investigators are still looking into whether the Candy family was struggling financially. Money troubles have often been linked to family annihilations, as they can push individuals, especially men, who feel the pressure to provide, into deep despair. Mental health struggles are also being considered. Could Jonathan have been dealing with undiagnosed depression or another mental illness? Studies show that men are less likely to seek help for mental health issues, and their depression often manifests as anger, isolation, and irritability rather than sadness. But if Jonathan had been struggling, he hid it remarkably well. Perhaps the most heartbreaking aspect of this tragedy is the 10-year-old boy who was left behind. He had gone to bed that night, oblivious to the horrors that would unfold in his home. He slept with a box fan on, drowning out any noise from the gunfire. The only sound he remembered was the fire alarm going off at some point during the night, but he had drifted back to sleep, unaware of the bloodshed occurring just beyond his door. When he woke up, he was alone. His father was gone, his mother was gone, his brothers were gone. He is now in the care of extended family members, and the community has rallied around him, raising funds for his future. But no amount of support can erase the trauma he will carry for the rest of his life. One of the biggest mysteries in this case is why Jonathan chose to spare his youngest son. Did he have a moment of remorse? Did he believe he was somehow protecting the child by letting him live? We may never know. Family members have chosen to keep the boy out of the public eye, wanting to protect him from further trauma. And maybe that's for the best. What we do know is that this case serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes the people we trust the most are capable of the unimaginable. Even now, as investigators continue searching for answers, one thing remains clear. The Candy family was not just another headline. They were a family. A mother, a father, and 4 children, each with dreams, ambitions, and futures that were stolen in an instant. And the one who was left behind will have to live with that for the rest of his life. This case has left more questions than answers. It has shaken a community to its core, proving that behind closed doors, even the happiest-looking families can be hiding darkness. We may never fully understand why Jonathan Candy did what he did, but what we can do is talk about mental health, support those who may be struggling, and remember the lives that were lost too soon. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, stay safe.